Okay, today we're going to look at dividing numbers by 10. We looked at multiplying the other day, and we saw that to make sure we really understand what's going on here, we're going to draw a place value grid. So I'm going to set one up with some hundreds, tens, ones, and I'm also going to put in my tenths. Now 50 divided by 10, you might say, well, I'm just taking off the 0. That works in this instance, but we need to understand what's actually going on. So when I divide by 10, my digits move one column to the right because they're becoming 10 times smaller. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 divided by 10 is a tenth. So this 0 is going to the tenths. 5 tenths become 5 ones. And in fact, I don't need this 0.0 just because it's not telling me anything. All I have that I'm left with is 5. So that's why that 0 has vanished. It's not just that I'm taking off the 0, it's the digits have moved, and this 0 is no longer telling me anything I need to know. So what happens if we start in the ones with 5 ones? And this is where that whole take off a 0 thing doesn't work. There is no 0 here to take off. So the 5 is going to move from the ones to the tenths column. But then to show that it's tenths, I need that decimal point, and I need a 0 in the ones column, so it's 0.5. Again, if we do 350 divided by 10, well, the 300 is going to move to the tens, the 5 is going to move to the ones, and that 1 is going to move to the tenths, the 0, sorry, is going to move to the tenths. So I'm left just with 35. This one here, if I've got 35 now divided by 10, well, 5 becomes 5 tenths, so I need my decimal point. 3 tenths becomes 3 ones. So I'm left with 3.5. Your turn. Pause the video, unpause when you're ready for the answers. So here we go. We're left with 7, 0.7, 27, and 2.7. And the really key thing about all of these examples is it just shows you how if you think dividing by 10 means you just take off a 0, you're going to have all sorts of problems because there are lots of cases where there are no zeros at the end of the number. And in fact, there are some cases as well where there are zeros at the end of the number where taking off the 0 doesn't in fact make it 10 times smaller. So it's really important to think about place value. That's why we always start every year with place value. It's really important for understanding everything else that follows.